I want to make sure that you guys are in the right place. If you guys are wanting to learn everything that there is to learn about mastering sales, this, my friends, is exactly where you need to be. So, hello. Now, of course, first and foremost, I want to introduce myself. My name is Molly. I am a business coach specifically for career coaches and service providers. Now, I cannot do my job without my business bestie, right-hand woman, Taylor, who is here. She is a part of Team Lotus. She is going to help us manage the chat, help you if you accidentally jump out and want to come back in. She's going to be able to take care of us. Now, real talk, okay? Both Taylor and I are battling something. I've been having a respiratory cold since Thanksgiving, hence my cough drop, and fingers crossed I don't choke as I talk today in the workshop. So excuse us if you can't see us or if I am coughing up a lung, bear with me. I am still super excited and my energy level isn't going to change. I promise you that, okay? Now, here is the agenda. Okay, now I will say it's so nice to see some familiar faces here. Hey, Meredith, it's so nice to see you too. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, okay? The first thing is what I call, what the fuck are you selling? Okay, that's the first thing. We're going to talk about revenue generation. Of course, we're going to talk about the sales process, the sales script, overcoming hesitations, the sales mindset, and I am going to talk really, really fast, jam-pack this information so that we have time for Q&A as well. All right, now let's jump on in. WTF, right? First and foremost, we can't talk about the sales process unless you know what you are selling, my friends, okay? So I really want to break down the basics of, first off, before we even talk about how to sell, how to navigate the sales script, how to overcome sales objections, you got to have something to sell. Now, first and foremost, I am a firm believer as a business coach. This is what I teach my clients in my Catalyst group. One problem, one solution. What you need to get so obsessed about is the one problem that you are helping your ideal client to solve, okay? Your offer, your service is that one solution that solves that one problem. And I get it. Let me just be very clear. Can we, because we're amazing human beings, can we do a lot more? Can we solve a lot more problems? We sure can. But here's the thing. When you are selling, you have to remember, confused clients don't convert. It is really hard to aim and shoot for a specific client and actually close them on a sales process if you don't know what you're selling and if you are all over the place, okay? So I always like to refer back to Starbucks because Starbucks is one of my most favorite. I am, super loyal, but nonetheless, let's use them as an example. We all know Starbucks for what? Coffee. That is that one problem that they want to solve. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't go in and sell cake pops and, refreshers and what have you, right? But they're known for coffee. You have to know the one problem you have and how your service, your ideal offer ties back to that problem. Okay. Now, this here is so good, and this is something that I know I have never heard another business coach talk about, and I'm giving you guys all of the golden nuggets today. When you are creating your offer, when you are trying to decide what to sell, the key piece here is to identify the 3 KPIs, okay? Time saved, money earned. The reason why you want to focus on this is because in the sales process, at the end of the day, guess what? Your ideal client only cares about one thing, what you're going to do for them, right? Very rarely will there ever be like, okay, well, what can I do for you? At the end of the day, if you can articulate these 3 KPIs, you get to articulate the value ROI of working with you. And one thing that I know that my clients struggle with, that I help them to close and elevate that gap, is to be able to articulate time saved, money earned. Because here's the thing, when your client invests money, especially if you're a high ticket coach, okay, or if your service is high ticket, they are going to know. They're going to want to think, okay, if I'm investing X amount of dollars for you, what are you going to do in return for me? Okay. You have to be able to identify these 3 KPIs, include this value ROI in your sales process, right? Now, the higher the value ROI, the higher the investment rate that you can charge. Let me know in the comments or in the chat real quick. How many of you are struggling with pricing your services? Put me in the chat if you're struggling with pricing your services. Elma, yeah. Me. Yeah. Hey, Samantha. Yeah. There's a lot of us that are, yeah, Meredith, absolutely. Because here's the thing, right? People want to know that they're getting an ROI for you. And the more you can articulate the value ROI, the more the clients are like, yeah, guess what? Molly's been able to help me to increase my revenue in my business, to go faster, further in accelerating my business, and she's helping me save time. Heck yeah, it's worth working with her. So your job, in order for you to justify the value proposition, meaning what your pricing is, in order for you to justify it, tie it back to the 3 KPIs. It's a lot easier for you to then go ahead and say, yeah, when you work with me, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. Okay. Now, because you are going to, of course, get more and more clients, it's going to be easier for you to increase those rates, because the more testimonials, the more proof, the more data you have, that's where it makes sense for you to increase your rates. Okay. Now, the other piece that I want to really focus on is the concept of selling before you build. Now, this is the piece where a lot of people build their program first. Okay. So let me explain what this means. How many of you have spent time building out a course, a program, a service, where you're like, heck yeah, my ideal client is going to love this, and then nobody has bought it? If you're brave enough, put me in the chat. I'm going to raise my hand because that was me. Okay. How many of you have spent time? Yeah. Seriously, spending time creating something that you thought people would want and nobody purchased it. Okay. So this is what I want for you to do instead. I want for you, once you can hone in on the one solution to the one problem that you solve and what that solution is that you can give, and you have helped to identify time saved, money earned, then you take that and you give a very high level 50,000 foot view and you start to sell it. You sell the crap out of it. You test it out. I don't even want for you to think about, okay, well, these are the exercises that I'm going to have them do, and here are all of the assessments that I'm going to do. No. That is digging too much in the weeds. You have to be efficient. As the CEO of your coaching business, it's your job to learn how to sell before you build anything. Okay. Now, here is one thing. Okay. How many of you, and put me in the chat, okay, I know I'm asking a lot of engagement here. How many of you are struggling to put together a package in which you can identify these KPIs with the one solution that you offer? If that is you, please put me in the chat. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be really honest with you guys, okay? Let's be real. I am the queen of sales, and we're going to show you how it's done, okay? What I'm going to be doing here is I want to give you a gift of my time. I want to help you to close these gaps. Taylor, if you could drop in the link to book a complimentary call with me. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys, okay? I am not in the business of convincing. Lord knows I don't like that. That is not my sales style. It never will be, okay? If you are needing help identifying these 3 KPIs, figuring out what your price point is, figuring out what your solution is, let's hop on a call. Completely complimentary, non-committal. This is my gift to you, okay? Go ahead and snake a spot on my calendar, okay? Let's really help you to close this out. I am and will always be, to a fault, an overgiver, and I want to be able to help you guys do that, okay? So if this is something that you want, go ahead and take a couple minutes here, snake a spot. I have very few openings left in December. My January looks really good, but let's make sure that we can get you on my calendar to help you close this out. And then, of course, if it makes sense, and only if it makes sense mutually for the both of us, I would love to share more about who I am, what I do, and how I can help you to close more gaps, okay? So go ahead and snake a spot. Now, while you do that, we're gonna continue moving along. Okay, so let's talk about revenue generation, okay? The reality here is, if your revenue is not where you want it to be, it is because you are not focusing on sales activity and you're not elevating your sales skills. That's point blank, okay? It is a direct correlation. So somewhere in your sales skills, somewhere in your revenue generation tasks, AKA your sales activity, there's a gap. You need to elevate that in order for you to elevate your revenue. If I were to break this down for you, if you only had 1 hour of your day to work on your business, what I would prefer that you do is to spend 30 minutes of that whole hour doing revenue generating tasks. And I promise you, I'm going to go ahead and tell you exactly what those are, okay? The other half, I mean, if you want to take the whole hour, even better, okay? But if you only had 1 hour in your day, half of that 1 hour, 30 minutes, should be towards these things. What I identify as revenue generating tasks, I break it down into 2. In-house, hosting workshops, just like this, okay? Doing your lead generation. I am the LinkedIn queen. I'm going to be doing my lead generation every other day, 15 minutes a day. I do that religiously. That is something that I hold myself very disciplined to. Other things that you can do, conducting sales calls is a great way for you to spend that 30 minutes. Going on live, creating opportunities for people to talk to you, and more importantly, creating opportunities for you to sell, invitation to sell, okay? Anything like that counts as in-house. From an external perspective, external revenue generation tasks are these. Speaking engagements. I'm a keynote speaker. Heck yeah, I use all of those speaking events to drive people to me, okay? Networking, referral partners. If you do not know what an upstream and a downstream referral partner is, time to get that rolling. Referral partners are one of the best ways for you to generate revenue. Guesting on other coaches' groups. Okay, just yesterday, I had an amazing time being a guest on another business coach's program, hosting a training on LinkedIn optimization, okay? Going and being a part of masterminds, swapping blogs with other coaches or people in your service that have your ideal clients, okay? Newsletter swaps. There are so many different ways externally for you to generate revenue. And these are the ways that you do that by working internally, externally, and increasing your sales activity and your sales skill. Now, as I know I'm talking really fast, y'all. I want to be cognizant of time. I want to have plenty of time for Q&A. Make sure you are jotting your questions down for a Q&A session at the end, okay? Now, let's talk about the sales process. First and foremost, the sales process begins when somebody has an experience of you. It does not begin when someone wants to have a discovery call with you. Many of you are familiar with the know, like, and trust concept, right? That's essentially sales at the very beginning. When someone experiences you, they're knowing you. They're learning to like you, and more importantly, they're learning to trust you. Okay? So the sales process starts at the very first experience that someone has of you. Second thing about the sales process, please keep it short and simple. I have broken it down to 6 steps for you. I'm going to outline this for you. Now I see that I have some mad note takers. I love it. You guys are going to get the recording of this workshop so that you guys can so yes. I was like, I know I'm talking really fast, y'all. So I just want you to know y'all going to get the recording, okay? Let me break down my 6 sales steps for my sales process. Step number 1. Where's your link? You got to have a link to book a call. So whether it's a Calendly, whether it's through your CRM system, whatever that case is, you need to have a link to book a call with you. Step 2, you need a simple but thorough sales application. If you do not have a sales application, time to get one in place, my friend. Okay? It cannot be a novel long. You can't ask, you shouldn't be asking your prospect to spend 20 minutes to fill out a form. No way. They're never going to do it. Short and sweet sales application. Step 3, you're going to give them the option to select a date and time to talk to you. Okay? Now, here's what I would recommend. Ideally, you want, especially if you have a lot of availability, okay? If you have a lot of availability, I want for you to create urgency for people to want to talk to you, okay? Keep that timeline to 60, no more than 90 days max out. It keeps the urgency there, that motivation there, okay? Step 4, you want to review that application to confirm or decline the call. This is the one thing that I think a lot of people struggle with. What is the point of having a sales application if you're not declining people? Okay. The point of a sales application is so you can vet out the right fit people. It's okay for you to read that application and be like, look, it is not a right fit. You're not my ideal client. I can't help you. Or better yet, I don't want to help you. It's okay for you to send them a cancellation notification and let them know that you are not a right fit for them. And here are additional resources, okay? Please make sure your step 4 is reviewing those applications before you even hop on a call. Step number 5, conducting the actual sales call, okay? Step number 6, is it a yes or a no? Are they willing? Do they have the urgency? Do they have the desire? Do they have the commitment? Do they have the capacity, which we'll dive into in a little bit here in more detail? Is it a yes or no? Okay. Are they going to work with you? Yes or no? All right. So this is the short and simple sales process for you to follow. Okay. Link to book the call, sales application, select a date and time, review the application, conduct a sales call. Is it a yes or no? Next steps. Okay. That's it. Last but certainly not least on your sales process, many people forget this part, the invitation and the follow-up. And let me explain a little bit more about what I mean by that. You generate more revenue when you have more sales calls, y'all. And of course, your sales conversion rate matters, but you need to have sales calls. So you have to boldly invite people to have calls with you, okay? Don't be afraid to say, yeah, you know what? I'd love a chance to chat and get to know you better. And I would love a chance to help you with that. Are you open to having a non-committal call? Just like I said, I practice what I preach, my friends, okay? And it works. Invite people to talk to you. Let them know, especially if they've built trust with you, you're not going to bite. And a lot of the times we're not the salesy kind of people. That's all right. Second thing is follow up. It's really important that you are following up, especially with the people who are not right nows, okay? I have a handful of people who are not right now. They're like, hey, Molly, I would love to work with you. It is a yes for me. I need to get through the holiday season first, Molly. Reach back out to me in January. You best believe that I've got a reminder on my calendar to follow up. I sure do. Don't forget to follow up with people in your sales process. Okay. Moving right along. Here is the sales script. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit more time here because I think this is really important for people to have. There are 5 key questions that you should be asking on every single discovery/sales call that you are having. Okay. It's these. Number 1, tell me more about what you want. Okay. You want to understand what their biggest dream, what their biggest desires are. Ask them. Get to the root of what they really want. Okay. Now, of course, as a former career coach, I'm going to give you an example. I will ask them like, okay, hey, if you just got extended your perfect dream job, describe to me what the title is. What is that salary that you're aiming for? What are the perks and benefits that you must have? Are you a fully remote kind of gal? What about vacation time? Do you want unlimited vacation? What does that look like? Okay. Your job is to ask them to first tell about themselves and then dig deep into the desire. Why do you want a 6-figure salary? Why do you want a fully remote position? And what you're going to find is that there's things that are more important to them, such as, I want to take my kids to Disney for the first time, and having a 6-figure salary is going to help me to do that. I prioritize being a mom first and foremost, and that's really important to me. I want to give my children memories. Okay. Or, yeah, I need a fully remote position because I am the sole provider or the primary caretaker for my mom who has Alzheimer's. And that's really important to me. Okay. Your job is to get them to share with you the why behind their deepest desire to have the thing that they're saying they want. Okay. Next thing. Okay. When we're talking about challenges, you want to ask this. What's blocking you from getting this? Okay. The reason why you want to ask that is because you want to hear them tell you what their biggest struggle is. Okay. Next question. Urgency. Tell me why now. Right now is the time for you to solve this. Why is today or yesterday, right? Some people are like, no, I needed to solve this yesterday. The time for you to focus on this. Last question, commitment. You can ask this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how committed are you in solving this problem? Okay. Now, let me just repeat that because I know I kind of went all over. Okay. So first question, tell me more about what you want. Okay. And then the true desire in an ideal world. Why do you want this? Why is this important to you? That's question 2. Question 3, challenges. What's blocking you from getting this? Question 4, tell me why now is the right time for you to resolve this. Question 5, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you in solving this? Okay. Now, the reason why you are going to be asking these powerful questions is so that you can do 90% listening, 10% talking. If you are talking more than you are listening, you are doing the sales call wrong. I'm going to call it out. You should not be talking for the first at least half of the call. All you're doing is asking these questions. That's it. Next, next, next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and listening. Truly actively listening. Okay? When you are listening, you are going to pick up specific cues. You're going to hear specific things that people tell you. Case in point, especially the sense of urgency question and the commitment question, okay? This is when you're going to really know whether or not they are ready for you and willing to work with you, okay? Urgency. If they're like, well, and again, I'm going to use my career coaching experience, okay? If they're like, well, Molly, I'm really looking for a job September 2024. That's like a year away. There is no urgency there. Their willingness to invest to work with you as a coach or a service provider is going to be very small because there is no sense of urgency, okay? But if they say, you know what? No, I need this job like 2 months ago that urgency is there. Okay. Same thing with the commitment. If you ask them to quantify their commitment, if they're like, well, I'm like a 5, my kid's got a lot going on and I'm really busy with remodeling my house and blah, 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 blah. They're not ready. They are not ready for you. When you know that they don't have an urgency and they don't have commitment, you should not be pitching. You should not be pitching. You should not be like, hey, would you like to talk to me? Would you like me to hear, or would you like to hear more about what I can do for you? No, you're wasting your time, respectfully. If they are not ready for you, your job as the coach and the CEO of your job conducting empathetic sales is to say, thank you so much for sharing with me that you're looking for a job out in September and that your commitment level is a 5 out of 10. I'm going to be really honest with you, okay? I work with women who are looking to get a new job within the next 3 months. Additionally, I like working with women who have a commitment level of a 9 or a 10. Now, that's okay that you're not there. I respect that. You know what that tells me? You're not ready for me. And that's okay. I respect that. So thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much for spending this time sharing more about your desires and your challenges with me. Here's what I'm going to say for you. Come September, July, okay, reach back out to me. Let's take another talk. Let's have another talk. Let's take a look at that commitment level. And if you are then ready to get your new job in 3 months and your commitment level is at a 9 or a 10, that's when we would be a good fit for each other. There is nothing wrong with y'all saying that. You should not be pitching on every single sales call, okay? That's how you get to hear more no's than you do yeses, okay? Now, last bit here. This really changed my perspective of sales calls. I had this epiphany one day. I was going through, a sales call and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I hung up and I was like, whoa, having a discovery call is just like a mini coaching session. That's all it is. At the end of the day, being a coach means that you have the skill set to ask powerful questions. Your sales call is a sampling of your coaching style. And when you start to realize that it's just another conversation, it's a mini coaching session, your job is to not convince, to not coerce somebody to say yes to work with you, simply to powerfully guide them and navigate them through their thoughts and helping them come to their own ideas, their own decisions. That is how you go about empathetic sales. Okay. Moving right along. So let's talk a little bit about overcoming hesitations. Okay. Now, some of you guys may have heard this before. Malcolm Gladwell said that it takes 10,000 hours of intensive practice to achieve mastery in a specific skill. And that is absolutely true when it comes to your sales skill. Okay. When you are on a sales call, I kid you not, your job is to get in as many sales calls as you can, real time. I think it's helpful to do role playing, but nothing beats real life practice, okay? When you can go on lots of sales calls and you can practice navigating the sales script, where you can navigate and learn how to navigate hesitations, that's where you're going to see the most progress. Do not be afraid of jumping on a sales call when you're still starting out. I know back when I started, I felt the same way. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do a good job. I feel like, God, I really can't afford to mess this up. I really need money. There's got to be another way, right? And this is me talking to my business coach. I was like, there's got to be another way for me to practice. And yes, you can role play, like I said, but nothing beats a real call. That is where you're going to see the most progress. So don't be afraid of jumping on those calls and learning as you go. Okay. All right. Next, When you are on the sales call and you decide to pitch and people go in, they're like, well, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. The focus that you should be, the approach that you should be implementing is asking open-ended questions, not close-ended yes or no questions, okay? Because what you want to do a lot of the times, sales hesitation, sale call objections is fear induced, okay? And so if you ask open-ended questions, again, your job on the sales call is to help this person navigate through any of the fears that they have. And as a coach, you're not going to be like, well, why don't you want to work with me, right? You want to ask really powerful questions. So here's another thing that you're going to want to take notes on or rewatch on the replay. Here's how you navigate some of those hesitations. If somebody says to you after you pitch them, right, after you share your investment, after you share what your program is all about, and they say, well, I can't afford it, right? Or they have sticker shock, okay? This is how you respond. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that with me and being really open with me on that. So let me ask, is it that you don't have money at all, or you just don't have money specifically for this? All right. Now, let me just ask in the chat here because I'm getting tired of talking. So let me interact here. Why do you think we're asking this question? What is the intent of asking the question? Is it that you don't have money at all, or is it that you don't have money for this? Why would we want to ask that? Or you can pop off of mute too, whatever's easier. Priorities, yes. Hey, Dorothy. To see if they're ready to invest in yourself. Yes, Elma, great. Allison says negotiate or offer payment options. Yes, yes. Helps to reframe the service. Oh, you guys are so good. Cheyenne, makes them consider the priorities. Absolutely. Bingo, bingo, bingo. And here's the thing, okay? At the end of the day, it's really not about money. Like it might be, but it's really not, okay? Because if they've already gone through the whole process, they've submitted an application, they want to talk to you, okay? It's your job to allow for there to be accessibility to your exclusivity. Okay, so let me say that again. Your responsibility to create accessibility to your exclusivity. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you do this work for free, my friends. That's not what this is saying. It doesn't mean that you give them a pay discount. You don't do any of that, okay? You stand in your worth because why? You and I already figured out what your value ROI is, right? So you're not going to give them a discount. But what you want to do is you want to understand, where is their money mindset? Are they in a mindset of growth and abundance, or in lack and fear? It also helps you to understand how they are prioritizing the financials in their life. You can then also respond once they share that with you, how working with you is, guess what? Generate money and save money, save time. Okay? If you are articulating your value ROI effectively and clearly in your messaging, on your content, on your sales call, it's very rare that they're going to come back to you and say, no, I can't afford you. Okay? At the end of the day, it just means that you need to re-articulate and help them to see, because they're scared. Their fear is blocking their mind from understanding the ROI of working with you. Your job is to help them to close that gap. Okay? You guys are so good. Love this. Okay. Next hesitation. Well, I have to talk to my spouse first. Okay. I get that very frequently, especially if your ideal client is female, women. A lot of the times, more times than not, they're going to say, I need to talk to my spouse. Okay. This is how you respond to that. Yeah, absolutely. I respect that. I always like to joke around like I have a husband too. He likes to dampen things for me. I want to make decisions for myself, but I get it. What questions do you think your spouse will have that I can help to answer for you? Okay. Now, if you are there on your sales skill and you feel confident enough, I highly recommend that you also offer and say this. I'd be happy to hop on a call with you and your husband to answer any questions he has. Yeah. I have offered that for 6 years. One time did I have somebody actually take me up on it. And I had a conversation with her and her husband. It was a fantastic conversation. Did she work with me? Yes, she did. Okay. But that does it takes time for you to really finesse your sales skill because, again, you're coming at two people that's going to have hesitations and they're going to try to poke holes at you. They're going to try to be really defensive, right? You have to be able to stay in the leader seat of that conversation. So I highly recommend for you to first ask, what questions do you think your spouse will have? And then from there, if you feel really confident in your sales skill and you've practiced your sales over and over again, this is not a newbie thing for you, offer that separate conversation. Okay. Next common hesitation. Well, I need to think about it. Okay. If that is something that you hear frequently, this is what I would recommend for you to say. Okay, thank you again for sharing that openly with me. What are you still thinking about that I can help provide more clarity on for you? Do you see how all of my questions are open-ended? I want for them to tell me more. I want to peel back the onions to understand what's the underlying fear that is stopping them from saying yes, from going all in to work with you. Okay. Next hesitation. Well, I know I really need this, but I'm so scared I'm not going to get the results. Okay. You guide them with this question. Again, I appreciate your transparency and I get it. Now, because you know yourself better than I know you, what actions do you need to take in order to achieve these results, if we were to work together? Again, we're opening their perspective. What is it? What is it that they have to do? And if they say, you know what, yeah, I have to be really focused and I got to do the work and I got to ask questions. And you know what, Molly, I don't want to do this by myself and I have you to guide me. Absolutely. Right? You're helping them to work through those fears. Okay. Now, the goal of your sales call is to get a yes or a no or / not right now. Okay. The goal is not to get yeses, people. Your job to powerfully navigate through overcoming hesitations is to walk away from this call knowing if this person is a yes or a no. Plain and simple as that. That's the best way to explain it. Okay. Very rarely, maybe if I had to give an estimate, because it doesn't happen very frequently, very rarely, maybe 5% of my sales calls do I have it hanging up in the air where it's like, well, you reach out to me when you're ready. Oh no. Before we hang up, I need to know 100%. Are you a yes that you want to do this work or are you a no? And if you're not 100% yes, you are 100% not right now for me. And that is okay. Again, your job is to make sure that you are navigating through these sales calls to help them get to a decision that feels good to them. Not to you, to them. So before you even end the Zoom call or hang up the phone, you should know if it's a yes, do I send you the contract and the invoice? Or no, it's not right now. You should never be leaving things hanging up in the air, okay? That is not how we go about effective sales calls, okay? Also, I want to make a quick note here. If people are really resistive, if they're absolutely a no, and they're not willing to dig deeper into your questions, that tells me that somewhere in the 5 questions that you asked, you didn't pick up on some body language, or you weren't you weren't helping them dig deep enough to understand where their urgency and their commitment level is. Okay? Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody is a no and they completely just shift 180 degrees on a sales call after you pitch them, it's because you didn't pick up on a sign. Okay. And again, that's okay. You learn from each sales call. And so either they had lower commitment, no urgency, or they really lack the capacity for resources, financially, time, energy, the support at home, whatever that is. If they're not telling you that ahead of time, that means that you got to dig deeper on the 5 questions on the call. Okay. So if you're constantly hearing no, I want for you to think back to what their answers were and then pinpoint it from there. All right. Moving along. It is really important that we talk about your sales mindset, because I can sit here and help you navigate hesitations all day long. I can help you to rework your sales process. I can help you to put together your amazing offer with the KPIs for your value ROI. I can do all that for you all day, every day. But if you cannot shift and elevate your sales mindset, we're not going to go anywhere. Okay. So first and foremost, please know that the energy that you bring to your sales calls, to your prospect, can be felt. Even if you're not saying a thing, okay? Your body language is enough. Your energy, your vibrations that you're sending out, even if it's through Zoom, is going to be felt by the prospect who's on the other side. Be cognizant of the energy that you put out there. So if you go into your sales call and you're going to have convincing energy because you need to close your sales, because you got bills due and you got to make your money, they're going to feel that. If you bring timid energy and you don't know how to lead powerfully on your sales call, they are going to feel that. You have to be the leader on the sales call. That's what they want for you to be. Okay. Second thing, I want for y'all to check your biases. Okay. Because I'll be really honest with you, right? I had a conversation with someone actually 2 weeks ago, and they actually said, well, I really want to work with teachers, but they don't make a lot of money. So I just don't think that they're going to be willing to pay $5,000 to work with me. How do you know? How do you know that? You don't know. Is it a higher probability that they're going to say no because they don't have, they're not making 6 figures? Sure. But you should not come into your sales calls assuming that people don't have money to work with you. Okay. For all you know, they may be a trust fund baby. For all you know, they may have won the lottery. For all you know, they could have gotten a severance package from their company that just laid them off, and now they want to do coaching work because they want to work on themselves. Do not assume that people cannot afford to work with you. So check your biases before you even walk into that Zoom call. It is not worth it. Okay? Now, again, the last bit here is I really want to emphasize that the sampling of your coaching style bleeds through. And when you can start to shift your mindset from, okay, as a coach, as a service provider, my job is to be able to provide a solution for this person and a sampling of who I am authentically as a leader, as an expert. And if this is a good fit for them, they're going to say yes. If the solution aligns with their problem, they're going to say yes. Okay? Do not dismiss the importance of this sampling of your style. Okay? Phew! That's a lot. I know that was a lot. Now, again, my gift for you all who are here on live, who is catching the replay of the recording, if you need help closing on your sales process, putting down those KPIs that helps you to articulate your value ROI, I am here as a service for you. Okay. Highly recommend for you to snag a spot on my calendar. Let's talk. Okay. And again, yes, I would love to get to know you better. I would love to see one, let's really make sure we give you a lot of value. Come and pick my brain. Okay. The first half of the call is to pick my brain, y'all. Okay. Whatever questions you have, bring them. Okay. Nothing's off the table, even if it's not about sales. Okay. Bring them. Okay. And if it makes sense, and if you're ready, let's talk about how I can work with you to continue closing those additional gaps so that you're getting ready for 2024 to make it the best year ever. Okay. So Taylor already dropped it down there in the link for you. Okay. Now we're going to shift into Q&A time. I'm going to stop the screen share here. And I want to make sure that I'm able to pull up the chat. Where did I put it? Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go. Now is a good time for you guys to drop any other questions in the chat. I'm just going to scroll all the way to the top and work my way down. Okay. Oh, yes. Hi, Dorothy. So Dorothy put in here, I want to make a comment, okay? Dorothy is amazing. I just want to share that with you guys. She has made some of the most amazing strides in her coaching business. And she said, my audio training is so good, but no one downloads it, okay? And again, this is one of those things where if nobody is downloading it, there's opportunity for us to really take a look at how do we help to really put that in front of people and the right people, right? Your right audience, okay? Dorothy also said, would you count articles, guesting on magazines as revenue generation? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. What you want to remember here is any opportunity that would count as revenue generation is the ability for you to extend the invitation to talk to you. Okay. So that's the key. If anyone's like, or any opportunity that you're really filtering through on whether or not you want to do this or not, the question is, will they let me offer an opportunity to connect with the audience, to talk to the audience, or to share my booking link? If the answer is yes, it counts as revenue generation. Okay. If not, then it's more for visibility, which again, doesn't hurt, but I wouldn't count it as revenue generating. Okay. Great question. All really good stuff. Oh, okay. I don't see any other questions. Did I miss anything? Any other questions at all? Or you can just pop off of mute. Still got 10 minutes here. I know I talked really fast because I wanted to make sure I have plenty of time. Everybody's a sales expert. Yes. Within 45 minutes. Win. Win. Okay. Well, let me open it to this. Any other questions at all in general in regards to either LinkedIn or just your offer, anything that's not necessarily sales related that I can support?
Molly, I do have a clarifying question on
Yes.
the KPIs that you mentioned. So when we're going over like the time saved, and money earned, that's for them, correct? Like how we save them time and money and everything. And okay.
Bingo. And just to add more clarification on that, right? So again, what the KPIs that I share, okay, as a business coach is I've helped my clients to secure their first, one of my clients secure her $10,000 offer, her very first 10K offer in 15 days. $10,000 in 15 days. How many of you want $15,000 in 15 days? Okay. Yeah. Money earned, time saved. That's right. Okay. Now, of course, your job is a lot of the times I feel like as service providers, it's easy for us to talk about the intangible transformations, right? Like I'm going to give you peace of mind. I'm going to help you feel more confident. I'm going to, give you, I don't know, less stress, whatever, right? Great. And those are all really good things. But guess what? People aren't going to pay you a pretty penny for that. What they want is time saved, money earned. And what that positions you when you are articulating your value on your sales call to be able to say, and this is why I charge what I charge. Okay? Without even having to say, this is why I charge what I charge. Okay? Yeah, good question. Anything else? Any other questions on sales? Or anything on that matter? Now, while we're waiting to just, I always feel like I have to give enough time, right, for you guys to think about things. For those of you who really don't have any questions, I'd love to hear in the chat if you guys could just share your greatest takeaway and what you thought about this workshop in the chat. That would be really helpful for me. Okay. Felix, hi there. Do you recommend having different offers for hesitating prospects, like discounts, etc.? So, great question, Felix. So here's what I'm going to say, okay? I don't recommend discounts at all. And here's why. Okay. Now, this is going to be a longer answer, but it's going to be really helpful for everybody. I don't believe in discounts, and here's why. If you give a discount to one person, you're going to end up giving discounts to other people. When you continue to give discounts, that's you not being able to articulate for yourself the value ROI of your services. And really, it's going to make it harder for you to hit your monthly revenue goals and ultimately your annual revenue goals. Okay. Instead, what I would prefer for you to do here is for you to have, here's what I do. Okay. And I think a lot of the times it's just sharing what I do because that's really helpful. Okay. When you work with me, you sign up for my group coaching program, my Catalyst group. Okay. Or you work with me for a VIP day. Those are the only options you got. The VIP day is at a lower investment point than the group program. Why? Number one, the VIP day is for 4 hours long. Okay. And it's an accelerator. It is a little bit of coaching, a lot of consulting. I'm doing a lot over here with you to elevate your LinkedIn profile. Okay. Your lead generation and your marketing strategy. Okay. When you join my Catalyst group program, okay, this is a 9-month commitment. Why? Because you're not going to build your business overnight. Now, if you are struggling with more than just LinkedIn, if you're like, look, I need the whole kit and caboodle, yeah, the investment point for these two things, a 9-month commitment versus a 4-hour commitment, is going to be very different. Okay. When you are going through your sales process, if people are really like, well, I can't afford this part of it because it's just too much, again, I would rather you come up with creative ways to get monthly payments. Okay. And it is a wonderful way. Do not shy away from monthly payments because number one, it gives you, okay, financial maintenance, and you can then be a steward of your revenue in your business. It's a lot easier to know that, hey, someone's working with me in my Catalyst program for 9 months. They're making monthly payments. I'm going to get that money for 9 months every month. It is a wonderful way to know that I'm going to get paid. Okay. So your job, instead of giving a steep discount, create different creative ways in which people can offer payment plans, right? And, or you need to just really be able to stand firm on, I've got 2 offers here. Okay. And here are the different price points. Okay. The other piece that I want to really hone in on, which is something I talk a lot to my clients about, is called price anchoring. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with price anchoring or not. Okay. But essentially, you are anchoring your prices against each other. Okay. And so the concept, I can't obviously talk about price anchoring in 5 minutes here. This is what I teach my clients to do. Okay. But at the end of the day, your job, if you're like my client, every single time people are just like, yeah, that's just too expensive for me. You got to strategically learn how to anchor your offers against one another. Okay. Because I'm just going to give you a very exaggerated example. If you have a lower offer at like $100, okay, and your second offer is at $5,000, That is too much of a disparity from an investment point. $100 versus 5,000, ain't nobody gonna sign up for the 5,000. Okay, your job as a CEO is to understand price anchoring. So you either, if you are low ticket, high volume, you then scale down your $5,000 offer and you pull it closer to that $100 offer. Okay, if you are high ticket, you are going to pull this $100 offer closer to the 5,000 mark. And that disparity cannot be as big as this. It needs to be like this. This is how you help people to stand firm in investing in themselves. And if they don't have the financials, even if you offer payment plans or whatever, then that means that they're not ready for you. At the end of the day, not everybody is going to be ready and available to work with you. Your job is to find the people who are ready, willing, and capable to work with you. Okay, so that was a lot. That was a lot. So let me know, Felix, if you have any other questions on that. Okay. Fantastic. I love these takeaways. Samantha says, I love the simplicity of your sales script. Absolutely. We are not here to make things complex. People don't like complexity. I don't like complexity. Okay. Make it easy for people. That's my job. Okay. Dorothy says that sales is not something that happens just because you are posting content. Fuck yeah, ain't that the truth? You need to be intentional and you need to coach. You need a coach to guide you there faster. Couldn't have said it better. Tamala says, my takeaway, great, get clarity. Yes or no? Absolutely. Every single time you're on that sales call, you should ask them, just so that we're clear, just so that we're aligned. On a scale of 0 to 100, yes, I'm in, I want to do this work, send me the contract. Where do you fall? I'm at 80%. Okay, so that tells me that you're not right now. That's all right. I respect that. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Hopefully when you're at 100%, we can talk again. Or 100%, I'm ready, let's roll. Okay, great. Let's go. Awesome. Okay. My clients will tell you, I don't convince anybody to work with me. Plain and simple as that. They're ready to work with me when they're ready to work with me. And I'm still able to generate 6 figures in my business. Okay. You can too. I promise you that. All right. Right here to the minute. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining. Again, I can't wait to have a conversation with you as a gift of my time. Let's hop on a call. Let's give you the value and the service that you need and you deserve. And let's chat. Let's get to know each other better. Okay. With that being said, have a great rest of your evening. I will talk to you guys real soon.